All right, we are in Premiere Pro, and I'm going to walk you through a few different things, well, a lot of different things that you can do within your own video for your product promo. And you can do this for any other kind of video project too. I'm just going to go ahead and press play to kind of show you what I have so far. This is not a finished work. I just kind of threw a bunch of assets into here, and I'm kind of messing around with them. So I'll click play. And then I'll move that scrubber, so that blue bar, over so you can see the next part here. Now, I did use some AI voice generator. That was something that you are welcome to do, and I'll kind of walk you through that too. I didn't want to record my own voice. I wanted somebody with a British accent, so this is this part.
Clearly Canadian. Clearly, it's our water.
So I recorded voice and then also included their logo. Now, when you're getting started in Premiere, I'm going to just do a new project. So we'll kind of start fresh. I'm going to go ahead and exit out here. I've already saved. And that project that I had open was about 23 seconds long, but I had a break in between. We'll get Premiere open. I wanted to show you, it's called Narakeet, and this is the AI voiceover using realistic text to speech. So if we click get started, we can say text to speech audio, and the cool part is that you can choose the language, you can choose the type of voice, you can preview the voice, and then you can create the script. So I'll just say hello, and then I can click create audio, and it's going to build my audio, and it will let me download and use that audio clip. So you can play it, and then I can click download. They are limited, I believe, to 20. So right now I'm at 18 because I've only used it twice. And I believe that's based on per device. So just be aware of that. You don't want to go too crazy and then run out of credits. But I love this because you don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything in terms of actually registering or doing any kind of paid plan. And it gives you the MP3 file that you're looking for. Now, what I did first when I was getting started is I went into my Google Drive and I downloaded all of my resources, like my videos, my photos, everything I wanted. In Photoshop, I edited out one of the product photos. So I basically got rid of the background, and then I just wanted the individual bottle. Then I went to File, Export, and Quick Export as PNG. Again, PNGs will preserve that transparency. So when I bring it into Premiere, it's going to have that transparent background. From here in Premiere, and again, it depends on which version you're using. I'm using 2025. You'll click New Project. I'm going to call this Product Promo, and then CC for Clearly Canadian, and then it's going to be saved in my downloads, and then I can just click Create. Give it a minute because usually it takes a minute to set up. All right, from here, I usually just click skip because I like to jump right into kind of my layout. And if you ever can't find something or not sure where to go, click window, and that will let you find kind of the main things that you're using. You can also go to workspaces and just choose essentials or editing. I like to start there. Sometimes when you've just opened Premiere for the first time, it'll keep you in learning mode. I don't like all the extra stuff they give you. So let's go into essentials, which is basically where I'm at. I'm going to go to import media, and I'm just going to pull in all the things that I think I need, like my logo. I have my AI voice. I'm going to hold down Control while I click, and my Canadian flag. I downloaded a video of a waterfall from Pixabay, and then I also downloaded waterfall sound effects because I wanted some water sounds in there. There's my edited product photo, and then some of my own photo or my own videos that I will use. I'm just going to click on a few of them. I won't do all of them. And we're going to open those up into the media importer area here. Okay. Now, first things first, I'm going to pull in the waterfall. You kind of have to envision like what your message is. Whoops. I pulled in my old project. Let's see if I can do that again. Uh-oh. Bear with me here. There we go. Okay. Let's do keep existing settings. That's fine. That was weird. I don't know what happened there. I think I accidentally pulled in my project file by accident. So you have to kind of envision what you're looking for your actual video. A couple quick things that you'll probably need to know about. If we're looking at like the preview here, sometimes things are zoomed in and out. You might need to right click and say set to frame size or scale to frame size. I also noticed, I think, just looking at this, I think my dimensions are off. Yes, they are. They're very long and skinny. So I'm going to adjust that in my sequence settings. Right here is where I can control my frame size. And I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. This will give me the dimensions I need for like displaying horizontally, if it'll let me. There we go. Okay, I can pull that back up. It's hard when you're working with a really small screen too, like I am. But again, if it doesn't fit your screen, right click on it and go to scale to frame size or set to frame size. If you need to change the dimensions, like it's vertical instead of horizontal, go to sequence and then sequence settings. Okay, so here's my waterfall. If I click play, there's no sound though, so I am going to add that sound effect, the waterfall in the mountains. When you click and drag down, again, pay attention to where things line up. When I press play, eventually when it gets to this point, it's going to cut off. So I may have to trim that down, and I'm going to trim it down anyways. Let's go to like half that, not even, and trim that down. Okay, there we are. Now, if I drag this up, you're going to see more of those tracks, but I don't really like to do that a lot just because I want to see my preview a little bit bigger than that. So I'm going to show you just a quick way to see more of what you're working on. And that's by adjusting these little toggles down here, these little bars. And I might go up just a little bit just so you can see it. But this allows you to see multiple tracks. So V1, V2, V3, these are all video tracks. Down here, A1, A2, those are all audio tracks. So just be aware the audio is down here, video will be at the top. And you can click and drag these little bars so you can see all of the tracks. Now, you may or may not run into the problem of if you only have 3 tracks, you might need more. So if you right click on here and you just say add track, it'll add another track for you. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Come on. There we go. So the track is towards the top there. It's just kind of hard to see just because I'm cut off a little bit, but it'll give you some extra tracks. Same with the audio too. So if you need more space, kind of think of it as like Photoshop layers. Those are there for you to use. You also want to pay attention to the order of layers. So if I take this clearly Canadian bottle that I cut out, I'm definitely going to want that on my top layer because it's transparent. So when I click play, I want it to have that transparency. Okay, let's get into just some basic animating, and I'm going to double click on that image that I cut out already. We're going to scale this down, so I'm just going to double click and basically it'll do the free transform for me. I'm going to do a basic animation. We're going to have the clearly Canadian bottle come up from the sky and fall down as the waterfall is going down as well. I am going to extend out that clip. So we'll move that just by going to the end. I can extend that out. And then to animate, what I want to do is make sure I have that selected. And then I'm going to go into Effect Controls. And if we're just moving things, we're just dealing with position. So this is where I'm going to say Toggle Animation. I want to do an animation here. There's a little tiny keyframe right there that just says that that's where the animation is going to start, which is at the beginning. And here's where I'm going to hover over one of these blue bars. So that's going to be your left, right, and this is going to be your up, down. So X, Y. Axes. I'm going to go all the way up to make it disappear. And then I'm going to bring the scrubber to the end. And I'm going to bring this one all the way back. Whoop, go this way. Maybe. Let's do like something like that. Yeah, I think that'll work. So when I click play, it falls down. Now the cool thing is I can do this with other things too. So if I do scale, I could click on the little toggle, say, yep, I want it to zoom in as it's falling down. Maybe by the end of it, we'll have it scaled up. I don't know. It'd be kind of funny looking. Let's see what happens. So it's going to fall down and then it's going to start zooming in. Whoa, kind of jarring. I might mess around with that a little more because it seems a little bit, it might have just been a glitch too. It did glitch a little bit right there. You can delete keyframes too. So if I click on that and just press delete on my keyboard, I can delete. I can also do rotation. So if I click here and say I want it to start rotating, again, you can do what you want to do there. Maybe I want it, oops, before I do that, we're going to leave it like that. Let's have it rotate upside down or something. I don't know. Something like that. There it goes. It's going to spin. This is great with logos too, any kind of just basic special effects you're looking for. Again, not my best work, but you can get the sense of how that works. All right. Next thing up, I'm going to go back to where I've imported everything. If you can't find it, it's usually next to where it says project and then product promo, whatever you called it. Let's go down a little bit. I'm going to grab this flag, bring this over. I'm going to move this over, actually have it at the end. And then I'm also going to grab one of my videos that I did. Now, this video, I accidentally believe I did this in vertical. So you can see I recorded this in vertical, so it kind of cuts things off, which isn't a big deal because I was just going to record the bubbles here anyways. So I'm actually going to crop it anyways. If you run into that, what you'll either have to do is you'll double click on this and either scale it down, and then you have these black bars on either side, which is not ideal, or you zoom in enough to where it fills up that space. And I'm going to be editing this video anyways, so I don't want my hand in there shaking it or anything. I want it to be right about there. And I'm going to use my razor blade to cut this clip. I'm going to press play and see where we end up. That's probably pretty good, actually. I'll grab that move tool here. We're going to delete that first part of the clip. I just pressed delete on my keyboard. So now here is the bubbly video there. Cool. Another thing that you might want to try is using keying or getting rid of backgrounds, especially if you have a green screen background. This one's a little difficult because it's gray / black, but I'm going to show you that again because I know we've done this in Graphic Design 1, but I want to show it to you again. So underneath Effects, we're going to go to Video Effects and then Keying. And then we're going to click and drag Ultra Key on top of that clip. And then we're going to go to Effect Controls. And if I scroll down, you're going to see Ultra Key and then this little eyedropper. This is where you're going to select the color. Let's just go ahead and select that gray. I got rid of some of it. I am going to change the setting to aggressive so it does a little bit more. And then I'm going to scroll down and go to Matte Generation and see if I can get it even better. So let's get rid of that highlight. And sometimes it helps to put something underneath here. So what I might do is I'll grab this layer, I'll bring that up, and I'm going to put something else underneath so we can see. Let's do the flag underneath. I'm not worried about sound right now, so we'll just put the flag underneath here so you can kind of see what that looks like. So you can see there's a lot of kind of jagged edges there. I'll go back to Effect Controls. It's not perfect, which is okay. I probably should have used, whoops, instead of multiply, we'll do normal. You can do blending modes, by the way, just like in Photoshop. Sometimes that's kind of fun. So feel free to play with that. Go back, normal. It's just under opacity in your blending mode. But in your Ultra Key, you sometimes have to kind of play around with color too. So if I try that, maybe that's a little better. It's not going to be perfect. Tolerance doesn't do much. Pedestal did a little bit. Let's try matte cleanup. Sometimes that can help too. Hovering over that. That's a little bit. I think that's probably as good as I'm going to get. So if I press play here, let's see. It's not great. But that's kind of how green screen would work. So just heads up. If you want to slow down or speed up clips, we're going to right click on the clip we want to speed up or slow down. We'll go to speed duration. And if I want it to be longer, I can just hover over and say, okay, I want it 12 seconds, and it's going to, speed it up or slow it down. So you can kind of play around with that. If I go, let's go to like 22. It's much longer. It's much slower now. Slow motion, probably too slow. I can change that again by right clicking and going to speed duration and then just decreasing that. So let's go back down to like 6. I think that's like half or twice as slow. Cool. The other thing too is if you have a video clip, this one has audio attached, but there's actually no audio there. If you have a video clip where you want to remove the audio, you're going to right click on that clip and you're going to go to unlink, and then you can just click on that audio and press delete. And that way it gets rid of any audio automatically for you. And then that you can put some music in or something if you wanted to. I think I'm almost done here. I'm going to grab my logo here. We'll bring that scrubber over. I am going to adjust the flag, so we'll double click on the flag. Let's make this bigger. I chose a Canadian flag for obvious reasons. That logo again, you could double click. I could rotate. I could make this bigger. I can animate it, whatever I want to do here. I click play. There we go. One other thing before I end this video, because I just wanted to show you some like basic stuff. You need to pay attention to where your video ends. So like this flag goes all the way to like 56 seconds. That's way too long, or 58 seconds. I'm going to trim that down. You don't want your video any longer than like 45 to 60 seconds. Think about, like YouTube ad, TV commercial. You don't want it longer than like a typical ad. So 15 seconds is kind of your minimum, and then anywhere after that up until like 60 seconds would probably be pushing it. So double check that. Make sure you don't have any like music extending out, and then you'll just have a black screen with music playing. That's kind of weird. You just want to double check as you're working on it, and before you actually save it. The other thing too is we're going to check out some video transitions. So if I go back to my effects, you can also do audio transitions with this as well. I'm just going to show you a basic like fade out in case you're wondering how that works. If I scroll down, I'm going to click on the little arrow next to video transitions. We'll go to dissolve and then cross dissolve. And there's lots of other transitions you can do too. I'm going to drag it over to my videos. So I did it to the logo. The logo will fade out here. See that? And then I'm also going to do it to the flag. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to zoom in. So you can see this is where the fade starts and then it ends. It even like kind of shows you in terms of this like angle. I can extend that out, like make that fading a longer time just by clicking and dragging. So the transition will start here. Starts fading out. Beautiful. Don't forget, you do need some music in there too, so just pay attention to that. You don't want it to be silent. That's always weird. Silent ads just don't bode well, so just double check that. Feel free to play around with the video transitions and the video effects. There's all sorts of cool effects. You can do like blur effects and adjustments, transform if you want to crop. So there's like the ability to crop something, all sorts of just cool things you can try. Block dissolve, gradient wipe. I really encourage you to try some of those out and just see what works and what doesn't. Not everything will, be impressive, but it is kind of fun to play around with. Just remember that anytime you pull something over, a lot of times the control for that is going to be under effect controls. So just be aware of that. Like right now I have my transition selected. So this is like the transition effect control. This is where I can like really dive in and mess around with the length and kind of how that works. So anytime you do an effect, generally you will control it under effect controls. It's good practice every 5 to 10 minutes or so to do file save because things happen. Premiere will sometimes crash. Sometimes you'll have a black screen, and that's just due to memory issues on the computer, which I know is super frustrating, but unfortunately there's not a whole lot we can do with that. You can try dropping this down to like a quarter or an 8. Sometimes that helps with like quality, so the playback quality isn't as high. But generally it's our computer issues that we have. Last but not least, I know this is a lot of me talking. We're going to get into type just because I want to make sure you know that you can add type. If you use the type tool here, we'll just click wherever. Give it a second. There we go. I'm just going to write product. If I highlight over that product under my effect controls where it says text, and then the word will usually be in parentheses. This is where I can control my typeface. I can control the size. Whoops, I forgot to highlight the P there. That's fine. There we go. So highlight the size. I can also change the color. I can change the stroke color. So if you have something that's not reading very well, like it's kind of hard to read, feel free to give it a stroke, give it an outline around the text. You can give it a background if you want it to have a highlight. So there's a background. It's got some transparency on it too. Oops, get out of that. And generally when you click and highlight on it, that's when you can actually use it. Just make sure you have the text tool selected. Same thing with just about anything else. You can animate this text, move it around, resize, manually, do all sorts of cool things to it. Okay, that is all I'm going to show you for now. I'm going to let you just kind of play around with it. Again, feel free to experiment with some things and just pull in all of your assets and try out some different things. Mine is definitely nowhere near close to being finished, but I have some ideas already that I will put into place. Enjoy.